be alright, Mr. Naruto. After them. Go! Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry! It's Gina. And she has a pistol in her hand. Well, that's got to be a staged pistol. There's no way she actually did that. There's no way. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the policeman, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back in my lodgings at 221B. Don't tell me Gina's the accused here. Don't tell me they're actually going to accuse Gina. 16th of April, 6:21 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Oh, Iris. A telegram came, but all it said was, "Wait at home." Oh, yes. We asked the police to one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Harley and Gina were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Runo? Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there. When we entered at Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out into the street, and I chased after them, but they got away. So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibanks, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. What? Why not? They've arrested someone else as a prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? But why? Well, the thing is... No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Then why have they arrested her? I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. So where's Hurley then? Is he still investigating the scene? Hurley ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning. What? Well, when we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley? Was shot? No. It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? Okay. He's at St. Sinners. They're tending to him there. I must see him. At once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No. I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. To operate? Oh, poor Hurley. It was was the two thugs who were in Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Jones when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. She does have a point. I probably would have gotten shot too. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. Oh? Why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished with her for a while. Why aren't you there then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. Mrs. Otto stayed behind to the scene to attend Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Ah, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. I don't understand why they'd arrest Gina. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? He's not dead. He's not dead, Iris. No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. It's also horrible. Thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all his deposited articles. The storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no! And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards. Don't tell me there was no one else in the room. Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yes, the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well, what can I say? Damned if I can't agree. Damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Bruno. I can't just stand sitting around here waiting. Not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. But I don't want to leave her alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me. Oh yes! I'd love to! Gina's at the prison. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. Ah, I can see you're ready for action. Imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. So much for no visitors, right? Unless he's not even in his bed. Hurley! Oh. He's not here. No. That's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in a bed by the window, didn't she? Oh, I know what probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all. So he's been sent home. Not so sure about that. Baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Oh. Hello, hello. What have we here? Oh. Oh, this ward is off limits. No visiting. What are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'll have you know. We're Hurley's next of kin. Eh? Oh. Beg your pardon then, sir. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. The great mystery solver as a mysterious family, eh? That's how you see us. Sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he's currently in the operating theater, undergoing extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since he went in. Oh dear. Is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working. It doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthesia, that is. Oh no. Huh? I've heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. He was drinking coffee to stay awake because he was worried about where Gina went. No! Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps you would leave and come back later. Oh, poor Hurley. Cell 13. Hello? Gina? Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. Wish you wouldn't point at me like that, though. What are you doing here for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Uh-huh. Well, you can't. Sorry. You erred. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you would. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how to get by. And if I saw my chance, I'd sneak in the pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny, be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by, said he'd be a lawyer for me or something like that. Said it was my right or something. Well, I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need one. He couldn't be staring at me more obviously if he tried. Why are you being like this, Genie? I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? You wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. What do you think about that? Why do you think that? That's how it's always been for me. Growing up in the back slums. My whole life. You do what the grown-ups tell you, you'll get your mates dragged off to the coppers. Dragged off by the coppers. Or worse. I had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out. Sold and nearly snaffled on the back of it. Can't trust no one. That's the point. As soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead. Gina, listen. If you like, tomorrow's trial, I could... Forget it! Ginny. Don't you trust Bruno? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night? At the pawnbrokers? Nothing to tell. Figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the store. The old bloke walked in on me. You know the rest. But why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work and half the time you don't get nothing. Bull crap, that's what you were doing in there. You were looking for the manuscript. You were looking for it so you could be like, I found a trunk. It's nothing in here. Your manuscript's gone. Adult or lying. I told you so. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure? The true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Sure about that, Gina? Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. Like you're doing right now. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? What do you mean before, Gina? Well, you said you were the biggest liar of the lot. Why don't you tell us these unforgivable lies you told are? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. You're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. Wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. Photograph for print? Oh, a really adorable cat. Found out one of the pockets of his coat. Ain't no point in me having it. Wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of an overcoat. Son tells me that cat's gonna be important later. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Ginny. It's an adorable little cat. I think it's a little like Wag-Hi. What's that cat's like to curl up inside under a heated kotatsu blanket? It snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Look at the back of the print. It says print here. Something written on it. 13th of February, 9 p.m. Article deposited. 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th of April, 9 p.m. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket? 13th of February. That could be significant. It was 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it? Small box. Doesn't tell us much about, does it? Bruno, if Mr. McGill had still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article. So you think the box might still be present somewhere in the shop? Yes! Something Mr. McGill has deposited we need to investigate. This is where it happened then. Last night? That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But, apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no signs of a disturbance. I literally see broken glass right down there. No, you're right about that, actually. Or is that paper? I can't tell. There's something down there. Actually. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're acting like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi! I heard that! Gregson. Yep. Oh, Inspector. Good morning. Huh. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. Got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assign the extra men to beat around here. Greg. Now look what's happened. Earl's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Young ladies, your ladyship! No one told me you were coming. I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see that he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Bruno's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am. As you say. Oh my gosh. What's the history between these two? I gotta know. The game doesn't tell me why he acts like this with her. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Do you believe it? It's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where me madness? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice? Oh my gosh, Gregson, what are you doing? Oh, why? Are you thirsty? Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Greggy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some. Lovely. That very much. It really hits the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize them like this. Now all we have to do is have her be like, hey, just so you know, Gina's not at fault for this, you should let her go. So, how's the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing really to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in last night, have you? What the? And you're gonna put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? No! Don't! The thugs are gonna come to testify against Gina when the thugs are very clearly the ones that did this? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me to never try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested 2 men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. Let's assume she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Okay. How can you call those 2 thugs as witnesses against Gina? Like, everything we know shows that the thugs are responsible for what happened. Like, yes, the room was locked. That door, like, it still appears to be one that can be closed, even though if it's locked, and it remains locked. Hello? The door had to have been opened at a point for them to go in. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No one visited at all. Oh. The ball must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood. Oh no. It didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But hemorrhagic like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having an emergency surgery right now. They gotta stop that bleeding. But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better. Oh, of course, your ladyship. He'll be as right as rain before you know it. Really? How do you know? Yeah. How do I know? Because of course. Ah, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective. That's why. Take your lies and take them elsewhere. Get out of here with those lies. That's not what's going on, and you know it. Better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. What up, Fort? Oh dear, please don't die early. Report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. I couldn't help but noticing, Inspector. What? How is it, Sunshine? Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch your sauce, Sonny. I'm a cop. We don't go in for favoritism. But he's right. You do treat us differently. It's because of those Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes stories. That's why. Oh? Crop up in him, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson? Oh, well, yes. Because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest at Scotland Yarders. That's how he put it. Oh, did I write that? You know what that one line did for me? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. It's all because everyone at the yard reads them. They all read the Sherlock Holmes stories. They even set up a fan club for me. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me. Can you blame me? And it takes just one bad word from you and Shums that could change the tune about me. Gregson, no, great detective will say. Again, quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out to print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. Can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it. That would never happen, Gregsy. Every month when a new Rancid magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. Lovely. Very much. That really hit the spot. Thank you, girls. Totally. Oh, yeah. Something else I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruto. Yes? What is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. Important message? Wonder what it could be. Are you going to tell me what the important message is then, Inspector? Yeah. About that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant. Oh, dear Sissy. Is she alright? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe? Nope. Not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? We know Naruto. Ryunosuke. We know Ryunosuke. She's at the Lord Justice. The Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstops took her there in a yard carriage after she finished her question. She asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. Go meet her. She's got nerve. He's Scotland Yard as a human message and service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why does he have to go see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me. We better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Not after we snoop on the crime scene. Alright then, let's see what we can uncover. Boy, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but I was hoping to investigate. It's a crime scene for Pete's sake. No touching. What's the problem, Gracie? Bruno's a lawyer. You know that. Oh, I am ever so sorry, your ladyship. Ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Haruto was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. Accused. So if you can't show me the representation papers, I'd be happy to let you know the round. Ah! Looks like presenting to the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Do you think this place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at the suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with the tomorrow's arrangements, I trust. Yes, thank you very much. There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart. Wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious. Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you'll have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. She's being sent home? Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san! Huh? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. What was that all about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's all this about? What's this all about? What are you talking about, Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Tomorrow? But what about Jenny's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Sato, what's all this about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue. That's not what I asked! Your life here can continue just as it has. You did not what I asked, Susato-san! What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no! Professor Mikotoba? If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We've received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker by day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Mrs. Sato's departure as much as possible. Okay. You wanted to hasten this as much as possible. You sent a telegram yesterday morning and didn't tell her to come immediately. Hello? If you wanted to hasten it, you would have called her already. Yes, absolutely. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. So Gina has been charged. She'll have to appear in court? Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago. And the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl. And the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker. Yes. It's all too suspicious case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and she shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases. It's not wasting time. Jeannie would never do something like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? Indifference of your fine services to date shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palatable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all the untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters of which to concern. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday. It is no concern of yours, though I'm sure I not need remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Stormheart, which is... it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her. A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation. We know that. She's refusing it. But that's not fair. She may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial. Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused needs to only sign the relevant paperwork, and the defense's barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charges Muru. Susato-san about to leave. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris. We must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. It's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I'd like to wish her well before I leave. Iris. Oh, Iris. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. If I'm honest, this case has completely thrown me off. Just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Come on, Gina. Gina, please. Gina, we're your only hope. Please. Trust us, Gina. Hello again, Gina. What are you lot doing here now? To have that muzzled grenade launcher shoved in my face yet again, honestly. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look! Come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say. Gina, I was wondering if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? I'm sorry to say I must reluctantly bid you a farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow, I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I've had so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put faith in them. Yeah, that's right. I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they're so clearly unhappy. Because of you. What? It's my fault? Yes. So I have one final request, Gina. Before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Huh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. Oh snap! She's like, prove us why we don't have faith in you. Got him. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh? You told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies. So you must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That's my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it just something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? We're going to it! We're going back to the trial! No! No! She knows something about Mr. McGilded! She knows! The one which Magnus McGilded was acquitted. Yep! Hit the mark! The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. What, will you tell us about it now? Gina! Gina, wait! Gina! Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. Coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. Based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, lied about a whole bunch of stuff. Knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about? Was it hiding under the seat that night? That was the truth. It was pitch black in the little cubbyhole. Couldn't see a thing. And then I heard a loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. Well, that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you? Yeah. Pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. I wasn't much light to see by, but when I looked at my hands, covered in blood, I was so scared. I thought I couldn't even speak. You had blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof saw. We already established that Ryunosuke. Then, Mr. Riddle started asking questions, I suppose. Who are you? Why were you hiding under the sea? Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? He threatened me. Threatened you? How? He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. About what he was gonna do after the cove was found dead. Made me swear I wouldn't tell no one any part of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me escape her before the coppers showed up. You must tell me what you swore to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. You said McGilden made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in pitch black. You were in a pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yeah, it was Mr. McGilden sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true. But it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor, and let out a little scream. Couldn't help it. Mr. McGilden heard that and dragged me out by the arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer, what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. The disc! A disc? Do you mean? Yeah, that's it. The one what you took off me at Windibank. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus? Not for long. Mr. McGilden spotted it straight away. He picked it up, smartish and stuff, inside his pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of the Mr. Mason's murder? And the Bachdrader told me, or to mutter a word about it to no one. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab. It was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard a door and footsteps inside the cab. Presumably that was Mr. McGilden getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh? Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. 2 people? In that case, it would seem as likely Mr. McGilden and the victim. So I spied Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilden claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in the carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. The other woman was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time, in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. Sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. It still tells us something. Mr. McGilden and the victim knew each other. So McGilden was lying, as I suspected. Oh, dang it. Knew we were going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, Gilda told me to hide under that seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two coats came from up top and ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right. After they'd gone, Gilda asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with the nearby pawnbroker. For your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbrokery? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It's Windibank's. Coachy snapped up the money and ran off to Pops' coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. Mr. McGill opened the box under the seat. Let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see. What were Mr. McGilden's conditions for letting you go free? I mean, she doesn't want to say it, does she? Not telling a soul, not for anything. About what I saw, and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There was more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending a coachman on a little secret errand for me. With some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked him? Did you hear anything at all? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel. You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye. The thing's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbrokery hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for me. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. Now come fetch it for me later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? Whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. In the case that might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop with the Windibanks. So it is, and you're to send the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and bite. But I ain't got the kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do you understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me, yeah, I get it. Good. One more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye. Look, I'm asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say? What is it you want? After he'd gone over it, I piked it, got as far away from there as I could. I'd the pawnbroker's ticket. I hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. Went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So Mr. McGilden planned it. Cornered Gina into giving a false testimony. Bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. Thing is, he said he would make it so we wouldn't live in East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew about everything what went on in the back slums. He knew I had no one to look after us as well as, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have, in a heartbeat, could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then, where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere that's there. Nowhere that's where. So, I didn't have a choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But, I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. You don't actually want me to represent you in court. You can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork so we can't. We need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. He what? Early's having a big operation right now, Genie. Is that bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake. That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake, as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign a bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it? Something like that. Mrs. Sato? Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer, none. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Okay, so she did give it to her. Well, at least it should mean we can investigate those scenes at Windibank now. Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Jeannie when we're done there. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. Now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us from investigating at Windibank. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it.